Okay, so in order to finish our granny square off, we need 2 more rounds to be created on the central flower, which will be made out of this peach color yarn. And in this next round that we're going to crochet now, we need to make our circle into a square. So to do that, what we need to do is we need to create 4 corners, and each of those 4 corners are going to be made up of 3 treble crochets, chain 2 space, and another 3 treble crochets. So I've got 3 treble, chain 2, 3 treble, and that will create a corner. And each side of our square will be made up of 3 double crochets into the next 2 chain 2 spaces from the row below, which is where you've put the chain 2 spaces between your petals. So you've got 4 corners. So out of the 12 petals, you should have 12 of these little openings where you've got your chain 2 spaces. 4 of those will make the 4 corners, and 8, so 2 on each side, 2, 4, 6, 8, will make up the sides of your granny square. So to create that, we go ahead and join our peach color yarn, and it's similar to how I've shown before. I tend to work into one of the chain 2 spaces, a couple of spaces back from where I left off in the previous round, just to make it easier for myself. So I hold the yarn to the back of my work, put my hook through that chain 2 space, and pull up a loop. And we're going to start by creating a corner into this chain 2 space. So you need to crochet 3 treble crochets to begin with. So to do that, you chain 4, tighten this up a little bit, and I am going to work this in as I go along, similarly to how I've shown you before. This first chain 4 is going to make your first treble crochet. So I need to create 2 more trebles. So yarn over twice, insert your hook, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and in this instance you finish your treble crochet off, so you yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops on your hook. So now you've got 2, I need 1 more, yarn over twice, insert my hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, and yarn over, pull through the last 2. Now I need to chain 2 to create that corner space and put another 3 treble crochets into the same chain 2 space from below. So I need 3 altogether, 1, 2, and 3. And this will create your first corner space. Now in the next chain 2 space in between the 2 petals that are next, you need to put 3 double crochets. So I go ahead and I yarn over once, insert my hook, pull through 2, and pull through 2. So you need 3 into this chain 2 space, that's 2, and I've got now 3. And you need to do the same thing for the next chain 2 space. So you yarn over and put 3 double crochets into this chain 2 space. That's 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so now we've created, if you have a look here, I've done my corner, so 3 treble, chain 2, 3 treble, then I've got 3 doubles in the next chain 2 space and 3 doubles in the following chain 2 space. So it's starting to sort of look the same. So into the next chain 2 space we need to create our next corner. So to do that you again yarn over twice and put 3 treble crochets into that chain 2 space. So I've got 1, 2, 3 trebles, and then I chain 2. Don't forget to chain 2. You only need to chain 2 in the corners in this round, but it is very important that you do so because we will be working into that chain 2 space in the next round. So I've chained 2 and I need 3 more treble crochets to finish off this corner. And I'm working in the tail end of my white yarn as well as I go along, so I don't have to deal with that at the end of creating the granny square. So I've got my next corner. I've got 2 corners and one side is ready now. So into the next chain 2 space and the one after that you're putting 3 double crochets each. So double crochet is yarning over once, insert your hook into that chain 2 space, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. That's 2 doubles and that's my third one into that chain 2 space, and I move on to the following chain 2 space, which will have to have 3 double crochets as well. So now you can see that our circle is starting to turn into a square. So I've got my corner here. I've got 2 of the chain 2 spaces that I've put 3 double crochets into each. So I need to create my next corner again. It's a corner space, so corners are made up of 3 doubles, chain 2 and another 3 doubles. So I go ahead and I crochet the 3 double crochets, 3 doubles, I chain 2 and another 3 doubles. Of course, if you need to pause the video because I'm going a little bit fast, you should all know how to crochet a double and a treble crochet by now, but I appreciate you will probably need a little bit more time, so keep pausing the video and working your way through it as I go along. Okay, so we've got our third corner now ready, made up of 3 doubles, 3 trebles, chain 2 and another 3 treble crochets. So I'm going to go ahead and put 3 doubles into this chain 2 space and 3 doubles into this next chain 2 space. So yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and pull through the last 2, that's the double crochet. Yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and pull through 2, that's my second double. Yarn over, insert my hook, pull up a loop, pull through 2 and pull through another 2, and I've got my 3 double in that chain 2 space. I need 3 doubles here as well. Okay, so just to show you, starting to turn into a square. And now we're going to create our last corner by putting 3 treble crochets into that next chain 2 space. 1, 2, 3. These treble crochets do eat up the yarn quite quickly, so always make sure that you've got plenty available. So I've got my 3 trebles. Now I chain 2, and I make another 1, 2, 3 trebles into that same chain 2 space, and let me just pull it out a little bit. You can see it's starting to become a nice square. We've got 2 more chain 2 spaces in between the petals. We need to put 3 doubles in this and 3 doubles in that one. So go ahead and create those into those chain 2 spaces as shown before. 1, 2, and now I have arrived back to the point where I started, my first corner. So we need to join this last double crochet to this first chain 4 space. So you identify the top of that chain by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and insert your hook through the front and the back loop of the top of that chain and pull through and pull through again. And now we do not need to cut our yarn because our last row is going to be made from the same color. So our last row, last round, is made up of double crochets only. So to show you on this granny square, I've got each corner is made up of 2 double crochets, chain 2 and another 2 double crochets, which are crocheted into this chain 2 space below, which you created between your treble crochets in the previous round. And then between your corners, each side is made up of 12 double crochet stitches, which you crochet into the top of these 12 stitches. So you've got 12 stitches made up of 3 trebles, 3 doubles, 3 doubles and another 3 trebles. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So those 12 stitches will need to have 12 double crochets crocheted into them in this last round before you arrive at your next corner. Okay, so I'm having a look here where I'm up to here. So I've got to create into these 3 treble crochets, I'm going to put 3 doubles. So your first double is going to be a chain 3. So you chain 3 and that counts as your first double. So I need 2 more doubles. So I go ahead and I put 2 double crochets into those last 2. So as 1 and 2 trebles there, and into the top of each of those I'm putting a double crochet like that. Okay, and now we've arrived at our corner space. So this chain 2 space, I'm going to be putting 2 doubles, 1, 2, chain 2 and another 2 doubles, 1, 2. Okay, and that is your first corner ready. So now we need to make sure that we put 12 double crochet stitches into these 3, 6, 9, 12 stitches on the first side. So make sure you identify your first stitch, because that sometimes does hide under this last double crochet that we've just made. So you've got 3 treble crochets here, so you need to put a double on top of each of those. So the first stitch will be here, and sometimes, like I said, you need to kind of pull that double crochet back a little to make that stitch visible. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12 before we arrive at our next corner. Okay, so we've got 12 stitches in between each of the corner spaces here in our last row. And once again, to create the corner here, you need to put 2 double crochets, 2 chain 2 and 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space, into that large opening, chain 2 space from the row below. So I've done 2 doubles, I've chained 2, and then I'm doing another 2 doubles, 1, 2. And now again I'm making sure that I am putting a double crochet into that first stitch, because that can sometimes hide a little bit, to make sure that you've got 12 on each side. It's very important that you've got the right number of stitches on each side, and you've got your chain 2 space in between, because if you don't have that, when you're joining your squares up, they're not going to line up. So make sure you have got 12 stitches in between each of the corner spaces, and the corners are made up of 2 doubles, chain 2 and another 2 doubles worked into the chain 2 space from the row below here. Okay, so I need 12 double crochets. So (11) and 12, and I have now arrived at my next corner. Let's just have a look. If I pull this a little bit, shape it, you can see that it is starting to look very much like the one that is ready. So I have arrived at my third corner, and I'm going to go ahead and put 2 double crochets, 2, chain 2 and another 2 double crochets into that chain 2 space from my row below. And now I'm going to go ahead and create that side by crocheting the 12 double crochets into the stitches below. So I'm going into both the front and the back loop of each stitch, as you can see here, and I'm putting 12 double crochet stitches into each side of my square between the corner stitches. And I have arrived at my last corner, so I am going to go ahead and put 2 double crochets then I chain 1, 2, chain 2, and another 2 double crochets, 1, 2, and as you can see here, it's kind of hiding that stitch there, but if you pull it out the way a little bit, there's my next stitch that I need to put the double crochet into in order to make sure that you've got the 12 double crochets on this side as well. So I go ahead and finish this side of my square off by putting double crochets into each of those stitches from the row below. And this is the last one. So, and I've arrived now that I need to join, and to join simply like we've done before. We had chain 3 here, so you identify the top of that chain 3 by counting 1, 2, 3. Go into the 3rd or the 4th, it doesn't really matter. I find it easier to go into the 4th stitch, pull your yarn through and pull through that last loop on your hook. Now you go ahead and cut your yarn and finish off by pulling the tail through that last loop and tightening it up. Okay, and that is your daisy granny square. There you go. Make sure that you work with roughly the same tension all throughout, so your squares end up relatively the same size. So when we are working them, joining them together, then they line up nice and simple, and it will look even. So before we meet next time, I'd like you to crochet, depending on what size you want your bag to be. I'd like you to crochet, if you want the bag that I was showing you in our last session, that is made up of 18 granny squares, I'd like you to crochet about 8 or 9, minimum 8 squares, so that we can work on joining those together. If you want your bag to be smaller, if you want it to be just a small crossbody bag, then please crochet 4 squares and come back to workshop number 3 with 4 completed granny squares, which you will be working on joining together. If you want a bag made out of 6 on the front and 6 on the back, which will make like a rectangular shaped bag, then I'd like you to aim for 6 granny squares to be completed by the by workshop number 3, and bring those back with you, and bring all your yarn, your leftover yarn, back with you, and by that I mean the peach, white and the grey color yarn, and your hook that we're going to be working with. So I hope that's clear. Keep in touch, send me pictures of your work, and any questions please let me know, and I am looking forward to seeing what your creations look like, and I'm really looking forward to welcoming you back for workshop number 3, where we will start joining our squares together, and we will also start working on the strap for the bag.